This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. Today in the arena, we're checking in on where we're at with PRISMARI Dragons. The deck has proven itself to be a contender. It's put up good win rates in the competitive tournaments that are best of 3, but it isn't seen too often in best of 1. It probably shows up about 5% of the meta, maybe less than that, and that's because tempo is very difficult to play in best of 1. But when the aggro wave that is usually there when everybody is trying to get to Mythic, when it starts to subside, that's when tempo decks can show up. And now that you see maybe my Sultai Coma ultimatum deck showing up a bit more, or you see some of the various control decks of the meta showing up more, it's a great time to pull out PRISMARI Dragons, because this plays a really good tempo game where if the dragon is online and you have some counter spells such as Saw It Coming available or Mystical Dispute and Negate, then protecting the dragon, it just swings in and kills people. It's really good against the ultimatum decks, and it can be decent against mid-range decks and some aggro decks. So I wanted to show you guys where we're at with the archetype. Mazemind Tome is a really fun addition to the deck. Some people hate it, some people love it. I love the Book of the Brain, and I particularly like pairing it with Galazeth Prismari, where you can use your Mazemind Tome as a mana rock while also getting deeper in the deck and avoiding flooding out by getting some extra cards. The rest of the cards are pretty self-explanatory. These adventure cards are just OP. Bonecrusher Giant and Brazen Borrower continue to show up again and again in the colors where they are playable. There are some Spells Matter type decks like that run Experimental Overload that don't make use of these, but for the most part, if you're playing blue and red, you're seeing Brazen Borrower and Bonecrusher Giant just because of the way that they interact. Don't worry, only a few more months of that to go for those of you who have those feelings. 3 copies of Alrund's Epiphany. While chaining Alrund's Epiphany into Alrund's Epiphany can often win games, they're really clunky when drawn early, and the deck is in this awkward world where it needs to get to 6 or 7 mana, but once it gets there, it really doesn't want to draw more lands because it can flood out way too easily. So hopefully 4 copies of Expressive Iteration and 2 copies of Mazemind Tome will keep that from happening while the dragon does its work, and a few counter spells keep your dragon alive. Pretty straightforward deck that a lot of you have seen at this point. The mana base requires a little TLC. I like 3 Frostboil Snarls. I have 14 lands that can let it enter untapped, and having a land that can produce either color is pretty good. Most versions run the, I believe it's called Volatile Fjord, the blue-red snowland. And that enters the battlefield tapped, and tap lands do get you, especially in best of 1, where every turn is under tremendous pressure, and the hand smoothing algorithm makes sure that your opponents more often than not have a good curve, especially if they're monocolor aggro. So I know that the Snarl can come into play tapped when it's off the top, just like the Fjord often can, but you can mitigate that a lot with your sequencing, just hanging on to a basic till the end. But I don't know. I'm kind of torn. But right now I'm having good, decent results with 2 Fable Passage and 3 Frostboil Snarls as ways to keep my mana good and fixed. So yeah, not a lot of new technology for this particular deck, and there are 2 reasons for showing it today. Number 1, just show you the updates and where I'm at in my list for the way that's going for those of you who enjoy the archetype. And the other is because I'm gonna go play some historic 100-card brawl. So watch for that video a little bit later. But when I do that, I really just want to play a deck I know and not play a deck that's a risk. For a little peek behind the curtain, since we have another minute here in the intro, I usually start every day playing a weird, wacky brew, and if it goes 0-3, I switch over to something closer to meta. So when you watch my videos, if you see a cool brew, then I probably, it had a decent run, you know, I woke up and it did well. But when you see a meta deck, I probably already had a bad day. I probably already got my dreams crushed and dashed on the rocks in the name of trying to deliver content. But today was one of those days, actually, yesterday was one of those days. Today was not really one of those days. Today, I want to go play Brawl, so I want to play something reliable so I can get right to it. So watch for those videos, and thank you to everybody who's liked the Brawl videos. And don't worry, it doesn't mean I don't care about Standard. I think that everybody knows that Standard is in a place that can best be described as boring at the moment. And if you're mad at me about that, I don't spend that much time on the channel complaining about it, to be honest. I show up every day, I complain about shufflers, I complain about mono reds, I complain about rogues. I don't spend a ton of time whining about the meta, so you can at least give me some credit for that. But I think we all know that a little change of pace is needed for the soul, so I'm gonna go play some Brawl. And enjoy the video. Let's dive in. Let the dragon nonsense begin. On the play with adventures and Kaldheim cards. Yay. Courtesy Passage Crack. This is mono red. They play mono red, mono red, mono red. Attack face till they're dead. Fervent champion. Robber of the... Okay. Guess not. Take it. Hold that giant. They'll give me something cool to target. They always do. They are mono red. They only have one mode of operation. Attack face till you're dead. Alright, let's not play the Bone Crusher. Dies to Frostbite way too easily. Let's Mystical Dispute something. We want to get this cast as soon as possible. Hopefully we tag an Annex. Yay! Perfect. Land off the top. It's a Haven. So we could hold up Borrower, Exile Epiphany. I think we're supposed to Iteration this turn, though. Make sure that we have that red mana for the dragon. Nice. Alright, what do we put into the hand? What do we put into the deck? Let's go Saw It Coming in the hand. Let's go Expressive Iteration in the deck. And let's go this into Exile, play it on red side. And Foretell Saw It Coming for the Wombo combo of Goldspan Dragon Counterspell. So no matter what they do this turn, I think no matter what they do this turn, oh my god. Okay, wow, I got abused. I got wrecked. Okay, I was gonna say no matter what they do this turn, we're probably gonna beat it next turn, but now I'm not so sure that's the case. Especially with them pulling an iteration. They literally played they played 3 creatures that turn. It's insane. Alright, so what do we do then? We can play the giant. They just exiled an iteration, which you know they want to play. Or I could just do this anyway. Take the 7. Am I going to win that game? Or do I have to try to stabilize a little bit? This is a tough call. This is really close. I mean, I think it's either play the Bone Crusher and hold up the other abilities, or play the Goldspan Dragon. And if you play the dragon, you have to attack. If you play it and try to block, I don't think that's going to work out for us because we don't have any treasure. All right, I'm gonna do the we came here to dragon combo. Let's do the combo. Another robber. Another robber. So they can still Embercleave here. Oh my gosh, they hit that Bone Crusher Giant, and now that's potentially lethal. Ugh. All right. Is that last card an Embercleave? One way to find out. Okay. That's not going to be good enough to kill me. Oh my gosh, but that might be good enough to win. What a game. The arch rival taking us to our limit with a heck of a draw in sequence. But I think we got you. They take all the turns. Eh? I guess. Shrug of tilt. Holy cow. That was crazy. Crazy. All right, our opponent's on the play. We've got some removal counter. Should be all right. Should be all right. Mono red, part 2. Why would we play anything else? Why would anyone play anything else? Turn 2, like, all right. Don't do anything cool. Just don't do anything cool. Just stick to little 1/1s, you know? Mind games. All right, no annex. Please don't annex me. Then it's just not fair that you went first. I'll take the, yeah, that works for me. That's a good deal. Good turn, good turn. No Bone Crusher either. If you power up that Haven. Wow. What a gamer. All right, now what? I guess we have to hit. Can't be missing land, that's for sure. Powering up Haven is good when the opponent has like 3 mana open, but if you do it every turn, you don't develop your board. So let's see how this all works out. It can be an addiction when people are like, haha, I'm playing around counter magic. It doesn't develop your board though, and if I play something bigger than your board, you're in trouble. Because like there's no combination of cards that kill me next turn, right? So I can play the dragon and attack and not worry too much. And we start the race. All right, opponent's gonna try to ride the Haven, just go the distance. We'll see how it works out. Eventually I'll play blockers. You're gonna have to figure out how to get the last 4 points in while being attacked by the dragon and while I have a ton of mana. It's not a good deal for you. It's fool's gold, and you are that fool. Galazeth Prismari. All right, so if we play the Bone Crusher Giant, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential mana and 3 mana for sure, which should be plenty. They probably have a Frostbite for the Bone Crusher, but I think we go for it anyway. And for your next trick, Tor Bran. Go away. It's gonna come down to this. Another land, but that's okay. We have all the mana we need. Foretell seems really unnecessary, so I'm not going to. That Haven's done a lot of damage, but its Reign of Terror ends here. Congratulations, I never cast my Saw It Comings. But you would still die. Uh-huh. Don't let your own lands play you guys. It's the finishing blow. It's not what you want to be doing most of the game. Opponent goes first, but we've got the Adventure Hand and a counterspell, and we've got a little Galazeth Prismari. It'd be nice to draw a Mazemind Tome, although I guess on the draw it's not that good. It's too slow. I'm trying to remember, do I run the Snarls in this deck? I've done too many iterations of too many decks. Yes, I do. All right. I don't want the opponent to know I don't have Shock or Frostbite. So we'll play this on blue. Hold this one for a Snarl. And it looks like we're gonna have a staring contest. I predict my opponent will play a Bone Crusher. What will I do? What will I do? Should we hold up mana or should we get this foretold? If the opponent plays a Bone Crusher, I'm just going to cast my own 4/3. And I don't need to stomp their face. Alright. Vigi. Okay, well, that's a nice stomp target, which means we're up against the Coma version of the deck, which means we need to hold our Brazen Borrowers. We need to hold our Brazen Borrowers for most of the game. And Saw It Coming is most likely to counter a Luca or another counter spell because I think that they run a good amount, like 3 or 4. Stompy stomps. There's the Luca. Gotta shut that down. It can just draw a ton of cards because they actually have creatures in their deck, unlike most of the Luca decks. So, Galazeth Prismari or Expressive Iteration? Considering that we don't have a counterspell, and that Coma will eventually show up, I think this card is a little hard for them to deal with, so I'm going to play the Galazeth Prismari. Uh-oh. Are we double stomping here? We could deny our opponent a Bone Crusher Giant by stomping our own Galazeth. If we don't do anything else with our mana. We've already stomped 2 Visionaries, but I think we're supposed to save this because there still might be an Edgewall Innkeeper, and being up a 4/3 I don't think really matters. All that to say, let it happen. There it is. We'd have to sacrifice the treasure now, and I'm trying to avoid that. Let's see what we hit. Another Galazeth, a Mystical Dispute, and a Frostbite. I want that Galazeth, but I don't think it's worth it. So, what does the Mystical Dispute really do, though? It helps us win a counter war, and it counters another Luca, which could be huge. All right, hand, deck, exile, kill the Innkeeper, hold up the mana. Yeah, Luca could run away with a game. Bingo. All right, we'll definitely find some land off this iteration, right? Right? Hand, deck, exile. So they're stuck on 5 lands. These are all spells. I'm very worried about one of them being another Edgewall Innkeeper from the way they played the first one with 2 Giants in Exile. And I want these for Coma. There could definitely be Coma in this hand. Alright, I'm going to send the Giants. Let's get to work. Let's go to work, Giants. Land off the top for the opponent. Giant plus Giant. Giant plus Beast. Holding up Brazen Borrower, probably. Let's rumble. Let's try to be the aggressor. In the long game, Coma just takes over. Lovestruck Beast is going to be a pain. Do we have to bounce it? And just keep making 1/1s. It's so bad. It's so bad. I guess I have to get the opponent to block the Bone Crusher Giant, and then I have to stomp the Beast. Okay, that's frustrating, because now I have to stomp that. You get a card. No more. Alright, still all spells over here. And still holding up was probably a Brazen Borrower. If we attack, it sends a message that we have something, but we actually don't. It's kind of cringe. Don't like it. Kind of tough, right? Could be a good bluff attack. Unless the opponent's willing to throw away this Beast, which isn't unreal. I don't know about this. I don't know about this, guys. This feels really sus. But I think we've got to turn up the aggression. Is there a way I could have tapped that to have double blue here? Maybe. All things you don't want to Brazen Borrow. Tapped land. Okay, no Coma yet. No Coma yet. Return of the Beast. I can get through the Beast. Let's go. Make sure we let the damage be dealt. They might have negate. But I think it's Brazen Borrower. Son of a biscuit. Okay. That's a big play. That is a big play. Maybe I should have waited one more turn for that Coma to tap them out. I think that was a big mistake I just made. I got impatient. Luca. Okay. 3 exiles. Feels bad. All right. For them. Even if they have Borrower and they bounce the Giant, we can stomp the Luca, so it kills it either way. We have to have it off the field. So now I don't think they have a Coma. Or they probably would have played it. Alright, Giant is here. These Faceless Havens are going to try to plow the way home. Let's get brazen. Prismari Command. There's one you don't see all the time in that deck. Card 2 land. Okay. Ooh. That's a lot of land. Bone Crusher. Gotta start manual tapping, man. Now I don't have the triple blue for Borrower. So we can play both sides of Giant now, but they do run Edgewall Innkeeper. I think we just pass. They also try to Luca things into comas, and these cards can break that up. Down to 4. Down to 4. All right, that game was a squeaker. Whoa, that's not a hand. Thanks, deck. We'll try this one. On the draw, no companion. What blue deck doesn't run a companion? I guess this one. So if it's a mirror and I put away the dispute, I'm going to feel real bad. But I think it's the right play. Too slow on the draw, and if our opponent's not playing blue, we might never get to cast it. Okay, I'm nervous. We have Snarls, so we hold on to the basics until the end, even if we haven't drawn a Snarl yet today. Robber of the Rich. Classic mono red. They're back. They're always back for more. Don't annex me, please. I don't have the snowlands for the frostbite. Perfect. That will do. And we drew the land. All right, we're one snowland away from being able to frostbite and annex, so let's send out this giant, which will probably get, or I guess won't get frostbit, because there was no stick, so we should have known they didn't have one. Royal Eruption. Fresh cards in mono red. Pog. All right, hand. Library, Epiphany, and our land drop for the turn. Did it the hard way, but we did it. And we got our third snowland, so frostbite can hit annex. Oh, we're just going upstairs. 3 damage to any target learn. Learn to spirit summoning. Well, let me show you what upstairs is really like. Dragon. This deck might play Slaying Fire, which can kill the dragon, but we're gonna make him have it. Seems like a kind of a classic burn deck. There it is. They had it. Ooh. Yeah, let's keep trying to get value. If they get no damage with their creatures, they'll have a hard time winning. Because eventually they'll have to burn our stuff. Yep, that's a good little target, isn't it? Dragon time. Make them have another Slaying Fire? Yeah, let's play this first. One thing at a time. They might have it. They're missing land drops. They have a handful of cards. They've shown us that they play it. If we draw into a Saw It Coming, it's probably enough. All right, Torbrand. That's a pain. There you go. Let's turn up the heat on them. I will trade that Bone Crusher for that Torbrand. Had a feeling you wouldn't go for it, but thought I'd offer. Just trying to be nice. Let's bounce this before they get to untap and use burn spells with it at instant speed. Their own dragon? Nope. Not today. Not today. On the play, rogues. Hopefully mono black. How about mono black? I'd also take some black white. Some magecraft, maybe? Can I interest you in some magecraft? Oh god, they use Shut up, rogues. Shut up. Snow-covered swamp. Never mind. Unmute. You're cool. We're fine here. Let's see. Killing this is not the way, right? We might stomp it. We'll see. Arcfiend's Vessel is a weird one, right? Because when they bring it back with their Call the Death Dweller, as long as you have a mana open and you can remove it when it's on the stack, that's pretty good. But it does mean you have to hold up mana for as long as one of these are dead, unless you want the opponent to get a 5/5. Brazen Borrower is a good answer to the 5/5, though. So, is this a cleric? It is. Ugh. So I guess we're gonna discard this mountain. So it's gonna make me reveal 2 cards, but I'm going to stomp the Acquisitions Expert so that it goes down to 1 type, so I only have to reveal 1, and you get the mountain. The Faceless Haven is kind of a weird keep. We're gonna have to draw a lot more snowlands to make it happen, but so be it. I'll drop this giant on you. P5 faux fum. Puny human. You're nothing until you're a demon. Gross. Tight curve from the opponent. Galazeth. Might be difficult for the opponent to remove, and we get to hold up Frostbite. So if they do try to remove it with auras, we can take out the Eidolon so they don't draw. I expect them to attack with the Vessel. Drag to the Underworld. Destroy it. There's one you don't see every day. I really don't want to be without a removal spell against Lurrus, so I guess this just resolves, and we don't cast the Frostbite on the Eidolon. Skyclave Shade? Ugh. Ugh. Disdainful Stroke is a whiff. So what are we going to cast this turn? We can't cast the dragon, so that goes to hand. This goes to library. This goes to exile. What are we bouncing? The Shade, I guess? Is what it is. You're going to have to try that one again. And then the dragon will have to bring it home. We always end up leaning on the dragon. At the end of the day, it is a dragon deck. Berserker, yuck. That's not good. We have to kill that. That can actually outsize a dragon because it gets 2 counters every time you cast your second spell, which this deck is good at doing. So we gotta make sure it dies. That draws out 1 of our Frostbites. And now we fly. Flap, flap. Drawing another Brazen Borrower is fine. We still need another snowland to turn on the Haven. We want to swing in with that and try to finish the game. Dead weight. That'll make a treasure, but I can't do much about it. Oh my lord, do they really have it? Oh my goodness. All right, so red. We can't bounce our own things with the borrower, so we have to kill the Eidolon so they don't draw a million cards here. We have to sack this for double blue so we can cast this borrower. And we have to sack this for double blue so that we can play this borrower and try to wrestle the tempo away from them. It's up to the one-punch phase to finish this game. They heard me. If we have something going for us, it's that our opponent hasn't bought Lurrus yet, but here it comes. Alright, we have to draw an answer for this Lurrus, like I saw it coming or something. Or it's just gonna bring back deadweights and kill our borrowers. No. No! Alright, if we power up Haven and attack and they block with a Vessel, then they get it back and they make a 5/5 next turn. And we're not gonna draw another borrower. So I guess I still feel like we have to do it. We have to be aggressive, there's no choice. At this point, we have to hit like some kind of running all runs epiphany. And at least if they get back and make a 5/5, at least if they do that, they didn't kill our borrower. So we're still live to drawing the fourth borrower because the shuffler is fine. I can't believe I'm losing to this pile. It's good against creature decks. It shouldn't be good against blue decks. It should be a free win. But they have made some good adjustments. I'll give them credit for Drag to the Underworld. Not a card I really spent any time thinking about. If I had kept my Disdainful Stroke, I think we'd have been better off. Ugh. And then we just flood out. Terrible. And we are back for the post-game wrap-up. Let's check out the stats powered by Untapped.gg. Companion app download. Link below. Supports channel. A quick little 4-1 experience. 35 minutes. So yeah, it'll be a short video. Lost to Mono Black, which feels because I really don't think I should lose that matchup, but it was a weird draw and a weird game, and good for them. And then other than that, we actually beat Mono Red. A good 3-0 on Mono Red. That's a quick way to my heart. And we got to hang out in top 100 Mythic. So all in all, a pretty fun day. A pretty good time playing the deck. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I think that if you're going to play the Goldspan Dragon tempo, I think that this is a solid list and a good place to start. While the meta is less hostile and less like all in aggro all the time, I think that running a card like Maze Mind Tome is pretty good. I think that the Counterspell Suite is pretty good. If the format is super aggro, you can run things like Crush the Weak, and you can take out some of the slower counterspells like Mystical Dispute and Disdainful Stroke. Maybe you take out the tomes in that environment as well. But I believe in the deck. I really like the deck. I also think that Scorching Dragonfire is good if it's like all aggro all the time. Just gonna throw that in there. And the other thing I might do is add another Faceless Haven. I don't know about that though. It was hard to activate the ones that we had, and we drew them pretty often. I think we got a bit unlucky. We never drew Maze Mind Tome in the entire day. And I know, 4-1, got unlucky, wah. But we never drew the Maze Mind Tome, and we did flood out, or we're right on the edge of flooding out and just squeaking over the finish line a few times. So that's something you want to keep an eye on. Can this deck get away with 24 lands if it plays Maze Mind Tome in Expressive Iteration? That's too low. Like, I really don't trust that. But maybe. Maybe we just turn one of the lands into a Shatter Skull Smashing, and we kill that Lurrus in the last game, and it would fix everything. Yeah, that's what we'll try. -1 Frostboil Snarl or Fable Passage, +1 Shatter Skull Smashing. Let's try that. All right, I'm going to go try to make a brawl video now. Hopefully you'll see that later today. Enjoy. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. You're cool.